Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another list video. This time we're going to be doing the Amber attribute for Knights and Summons. My name is Javakun, your friendly Discord mod, and I'm here with.
Term.
And let's kick this off with the first card being Silver Knight. Silver Knight is a 1100 2 EA. This card can be treated as both light and dark attribute. So it is both light, dark, and amber, essentially.
Which is just crazy just to have.
Yeah. Um, you know, a lot of cards essentially would benefit from using basically the idea is, let's say you had a sprite that you could only equip to dark or light cards. Well, now you can equip it to this card. If you had a buffing card that only buffed light cards or dark cards, just now counts as that. So for being
Right.
an amber card, it gets a good amount of synergy for
Mm-hmm.
essentially being three attributes in one.
Right.
Um,
And for that, I I'll throw him I'll throw him an A.
yep,
Just having three attributes on a single card is kinda insane.
yeah, I agree with you.
But not as insane as this next one, which is the Gold Knight.
Yeah, go for it.
So the Gold Knight, this card can be treated as an earth, a fire, and water. And this is already an amber card too, so that's four attributes in one. Being an 1100 base attack with the 2 equipment space.
Yeah, um, it's insane, honestly. This is better than that.
Yep. And if not, I would most definitely use that in every deck for something like that.
I think it's good when you're trying to synergize with cards that benefit out of the attributes.
Mhm.
Um, you can think of something like, is it No Name Dragon, the one that requires you to have a Earth, Fire, Water in
Yep.
your. Yeah. So there you go. There's this card. So this card's great. But the effect is good. The card overall could use a little bit more
Y-
help, but the
Right.
effect is good. Next one we have one of my favorites actually, White Fox Knight. So White Fox Knight is an 800 3 EA. When this card can when summoned, you can retrieve any earth, fire, or water equip card from your discard pile. Honestly, there isn't a lot of cards that get equip cards back from the discard pile. So having this and having it be 3 EA essentially allows you to bring something like Banishing Gaze back and being able to activate it on the same turn
Mm.
because you have the EA available to activate it. So you can basically do something like activate Banishing Gaze uh last turn or something because you had to remove some stuff, bring this guy onto the board, bring him back, and tutor a bunch of other stuff, and then you can do Banishing Gaze again with multiple targets and using him as a target as well. Typically, I wouldn't I wouldn't let White Fox Knight exist in the field after I've used this effect because it has such a low amount of attack. It does have 3 EA, so again, there's other cards that you can use along with it. Through the Portal is one that comes to mind that people love to activate it with this card. Um, Banishing Gaze, Crystal Summon, um, and we'll see a few more other equip cards that definitely get the full benefit of this card.
Mhm.
Um, What would you think for this card?
Um, for that one, I would say I would s- I would keep it at a B if anything. Like it's nice that he can get equipment cards, but he can only do that with one card only being summoned. Like think of it if it was once per turn. Oh man,
That
that
would be
that's just that would just be
that would be broken.
busted.
That would be broken. I think it's a little bit more than B. I would put it at a low A
Okay, okay.
because I've seen it be such a utility card. It's one of those cards that it has such high utility that people just end up running it because they need it.
Mm, just to get
Just to
that
get
one
that one.
equipment.
There's so many limited amount of removal in this game that just being able to access more removal is key.
Hmm.
Um, and that's why this card is important. And the fact that it can search, earth, fire, and water, you got you got options there. That's where I think a low A is a solid.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it might even be better than this. Sorry.
Better than the
The
using the
silver.
three attributes.
No, no,
Oh,
better
two
than this.
attributes.
Yeah, better
The
than that
silver.
one. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
I just feel like more people play um that card than those other two, honestly.
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Next
The
one we
Dark
have.
Wolf Knight.
Yep. So Dark Wolf Knight. So the Dark Wolf Knight is essentially the same thing, but for the dark and light. Um, I think there's a lot less benefit from this.
Yeah, because that one is only two types of attributes that you're getting. At
Yeah.
least with the White Fox, you're getting three. This one is just a dumbed down version.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you have to look at the types of equips that are in the light and dark attributes. When you look at the difference between the fire, water, and earth attributes, and I think there's a lot better ones on those three attributes than this one. So I would think this one could stay at a B.
With at least light, you can get the heart of life at least, so you don't die for the three turns.
Yeah.
Um,
Um. Yeah. Heart of Light is one target. Yeah. Um. You know what? I'm gonna give it the lowest A possible. I'm gonna give it.
yeah, I I'm trying to think the strongest dark equipment card you can throw in as well. Forgot the
Um.
name of it.
Maybe like Dark Chaos Sword
Oh,
or I don't know. I think
it's like situational with that as
it
well.
is. It is situational. So I think it's good where it is.
Hmm.
Next one. We have
Oh, I
Aztec
love
Knight.
this. The Aztec Knight.
Okay. Aztec Knight is 1400, 0 EA, but it has such a good effect. This card
Hmm.
cannot be destroyed by cards with a base attack of 900 or higher. This card,
This card, I will. Everyone should be running in their deck. For something to have something like that effect, it can be 900 or higher. It's a huge blocker. They had to ramp up. Not only past 900, if they're starting below 900, they have to ramp up past 1400 just to get past this card.
which is not an easy thing to do, honestly. Like I've played against people that have this card, and it's always been a pain. You end up having to banishing gaze it or use the banishing blade or use something to get rid of it, right? But the funniest part is you get rid of it and then you take it from them and then you play it on your side of the field and now they have to deal with it. It's so annoying. It is so annoying.
It's just a perfect blocker in any portal. It's just perfect, especially the first turn blocker. perfect.
Yep. Now, there is a portal or there is an attribute that and we just covered this in a previous video that goes very very well against this card. And that's water attribute. And the reason why
Mm,
water attribute is really good against this card is because water attribute has cards that can switch. So, let's
mhm.
say Aztec Knight attacks my Toxic Water Beast. Well, it got switched. Now I have Aztec Knight. I have Underwater Giant, not Underwater Giant, the other one.
The ancient.
Ancient Underwater Giant. Basically, I can essentially play this on my turn, and then at the end of the turn, just swap it for the Aztec Knight, and now the Aztec Knight is essentially protected. Um, because
Yeah,
even
and
the
the ancient water knight can't even attack it because it's
exact
starting at the 1700 base.
exactly that's why water does have outs for this card. You have that other the power of the sea card, which you could give it plus 1,000 to something. You give plus 1,000 to something like Sapphire Knight, and it can destroy this Aztec Knight
Hmm.
because it starts at 800. So water has a good way of defeating Aztec Knight. But if you
Right, you
don't,
would just have to sacrifice a heavy card
right,
for just to get rid of this effect, basically, get through the threshold.
yeah, that's why this card is an SS tier. That's why it's so good. That's why so many people run it, and that's why I think it's right up there. What do you think?
Yes, I
Okay,
agree.
next
Oh,
one.
my favorite card of them all,
Okay, go for it.
especially the alternate. So, Aaliyah the Assassin. So, it cannot be destroyed by an ally with an equipment card attached. And it starts off with a 1400 base attack with no EA.
Do
So just how this card is, just on its own, it is situational. Yes, this is the type of card you would not play right off the bat. This is more late game because late game everyone's gonna be having equipment on everyone already and just out there trying to buff themselves up. You just throw this card out there, they can't get this card. You can't go through it. Basically, you literally can't kill this card that's out on the field.
I think this is a good situational card. Um, I've for some reason I haven't seen too many people play this card,
Which
and
surprises me.
yeah, it definitely does surprise me. But I think it's because there's the type of player that heavily relies on equipment, and there's the type of player that doesn't rely on equipment and only
Right, like the
only
Agent
relies
Force.
on the allies. So in on that sense, would you say that it stands on its own, or would you
It,
drop it
I,
down?
I would say it's S, but it can't fully get up there since, as what you said, there's people that its effect already can do its own, like the Ancient Forest
I,
Giant.
I mean, this card can be destroyed by Ultimate Protector. This card can be destroyed by Ancient. Even the one we just talked about. I think a lot more cards can destroy this card rather than Aztec Knight.
Right,
So I
it's just
can't put it at
basically
S. I think it needs to drop to A.
high, so high A, low S type of
Yeah,
style. Since for this one, as I stick with what I'm thinking with, it has to be late game. For how everyone has to bulk up their cards by throwing equipment cards on them.
that's true.
This is
That's
the
true.
this is the type of card that will be the blocker for late game.
That's true. I can see that. I can see that. Actually, it would be hilarious if you combine this card with something like the Toxic Water Sprite. So you just
Oh
equip
man.
stuff onto your opponent, and then you
Oh
play
yeah.
this.
It's like the perfect synergy to mess people up, basically.
Exactly. So that's kind of hilarious synergy there. But yeah, I think high A is a good one. Let's carry on with the most broken card in the whole
Oh
set.
my god, I hate
This
people
card is
using
so
this
good.
card.
Okay, so Swamp Knight. Swamp Knight is a 2 EA, 1,000 base attack. When this card is on the field, all allies on your opponent's field, lose 300 attack. This card wins like games like there's no tomorrow. Like if you have this card on the field, there's a very
And
high chance you're gonna win the
it's busted that it also has 2 equipment space.
yeah, yeah. It is very busted because people attach Heart of Light to it. People attach a White Light Protector onto it. People attach other buffing effects onto it, and it just not only does it protect it, but it just makes it that much of a threat. Like people see this card and they immediately have to destroy it. They
Yes.
cannot let this card survive because for the time that it survives, it just means your all the allies you have on the field are taking that huge hit to base attack,
Mhm.
and it just sucks, man. It really does suck. Um, I think it's SS.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yep. It definitely should stay where it sits. And would
Yeah,
you put that over the Aztec Knight?
of course, I would.
Yep.
Next one, we got Cosmic Herald Knight. Beautiful card. One of super
The
beautiful artwork.
background with all that color and it's
Oof.
so nice that it makes the knight stand out.
Yep. This card in Starfoil looks amazing. Um. So okay. So it's a 4 EA. It's just a huge amount, by the way. 400 base attack. This card can be treated as any attribute. So what does this mean? And it's
Eh,
difficult to understand when people just say, "Oh, they can be treated as any attribute." Um, you essentially can equip any sprite onto this. Um, you can use it as fodder for any one of those cards that says, "Oh, pitch this card or this type of card for uh basically to do another card's effect."
mhm.
Um, it has 4 EAs, which is a stupid
Yeah,
amount.
a huge amount.
But because it has only 400, it's only utility. That's it. That's all.
Mhm.
I wouldn't buff this card to high level using its EA slots. I would use this card mainly as a utility card. And on top of that, I would only use this card in a specific portal that benefits out of its utility. Portals that rely on specific attributes existing or specific synergies. That's where I would put this card. Because of that, I don't think it's too powerful. I think at a maybe between a B and a C, that's where I would put it. Where would you
W-
say?
I would say he's like a supporter. I would keep him at a B. I can't push him any higher with having such low base attack. Like it's nice that he has 4 equipment slots. That is really really helpful. But other than that, he can just die basically in 1 turn.
Now,
You.
now I have seen people make this thing huge. Size
Mhm.
doesn't matter, which is a green
Yep.
attribute card right
Right
here.
there. So it was yeah.
This card is isn't it this one or did I grab the wrong one? Oh, this one, sorry. This one. This card only applies to cards that are 500 or less. This card's 400. So that means that this card can essentially get a gigantic 1000 buff.
And then you throw in the cosmic what's his name?
This other guy, I'm trying to find him. He is he's somewhere. Can't find him now.
There, the cosmic entity.
Oh, here we go. He's a box topper. This guy can be equipped, and it gives you another 1,200. So, um, yeah, you can make this guy huge, but you're
Mm,
spending cards to make him huge.
yeah.
So. B to me. Okay, next one. The Last Samurai. One of who was it? TD's favorite card, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, this card kind of popped out during our latest tournament that we had on the Discord. TD played it really well. Um, if you have the first samurai on the field, this card cannot be destroyed by any of your opponent's allies with an equipped card attached. It has 1 EA and then 1200 attack. As you know, as it is, it's not big. It's not huge. It's not that
No,
big of a deal.
because you had to have the first samurai to even have that effect go off. So basically saying as its own, it has no effect.
Exactly. But the moment you put in that first samurai,
Mm-hmm.
that's when things get spicy. So,
Right.
where would you put it as a standalone?
I would throw it like I can see it being an A, but it has to. It has to have the first samurai. So it's like that situation that you have to run both cards. Yes, it has the one EA. That's nice, but you would need the other samurai for those two to play off each other, synergize.
Yeah. I actually am in the fence of it's a B. It's a
Okay.
high B because it's just it needs the other guy.
Yep.
It really does. Without it, it's a 1200 and one EA. What TD did with it was he equipped a specific samurai equip card that would buff a little bit more cards that had samurai in their name. And that was good synergy from TD's part, right? On that samurai portal. The problem is, um, what if you don't have that card? So
You basically got to hold off until you pull one or the other.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's still B tier as
Yeah,
a
it's like a
standalone.
situational type of card.
Yeah. Next one is the staple.
Bronze.
Well, not staple. The cover art of Knights and Summons. Bronze Knight. Bronze Knight is a 4 EA 600. This card can have any attribute sprite equipped. There you go. Cannot be destroyed by any ally of the same attribute as a sprite that is equipped to this card, so it gets protection. If you have 4 different attribute sprites in your discard pile, this card cannot be banished or exiled. Essentially saying, and this is very important, if you have 4 sprites and you equip 4 sprites onto this card is almost unkillable. When I say almost unkillable, is because sadly we have more than 4 attributes. um,
Right. Right.
so let's say you equip fire, water, earth, and light. That means that this card can be killed by something that is dark or amber.
Hmm.
Let's say you're playing against a mono portal. Well, good luck, right? You're gonna want to try to equip a sprite that guy has, in their portal.
Right. Like it will block them, but other than that,
There's a very specific portal that could run this and get it pretty funny, but I can't run this. For some reason, I can't spend 4 sprites onto this guy just to get this meme. Actually, you know what? This could be a meme portal. It honestly could, right? The whole point of the portal is to get Bronze Knight onto the field, get it with 4 EAs that your opponent, all the attributes that your opponent might have,
hmm
and then have enough sprites on your discard so that essentially you try to lock out your opponent.
It's basically, yeah.
That's what it is.
For something like that, I agree with you. You're just trying to just mess with them at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I can't play this card alone. I like straight up alone. I can't play it. Sadly, it's a beautiful card, but I cannot play it alone. I would need to play it with the intent that I'm going to use its effect to the maximum possibility, right? Because if I drew this card in my hand and I had like not a single sprite with me, and
You're just gonna be holding off on it
yeah,
until you do.
it's gonna be dead in my hand because I'm not gonna play it on the field with only 600 base attack. It's gonna get murdered. And if I start equipping other cards onto him and I'm not using the effect of the sprites, I feel like I'm like, wasting. I can't even use size doesn't matter on it.
No, since he's at 600.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Um,
Like me, I'll leave him. I'll leave him at a B because he could be a blocker, but you would have to play it off of what they have as an attributes with the attribute with the sprites that you have, basically.
you know what? Um, See, between Cosmic Herald Knight and Bronze Knight, which one do you think is better?
Let me double check.
I think it's Cosmic Herald Knight.
Yeah, I'll still keep it as is.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Oh, what is the
It's not.
Tiny Knight Spirit?
Yeah. Tiny Knight Spirit. This card, if this card is destroyed, you can search your portal for any knight and retrieve it. So basically, this is a try to get any type of knight tutor. The problem is, it's you need to get it destroyed. That means that your opponent gets a point. Um, it's 500. You can have three of them, and it is 3 EA. Sad part is your opponent gets a free point.
Yeah, for this, I personally I don't know how I feel about it. I wouldn't run it just because it has to be killed,
Yeah,
just so I can even search for a card.
yeah. I wouldn't run it either.
Yeah, I'll put it at a D. Like you can use it, yeah, it comes in handy, but other than that, not really much to it.
Yep.
Oh, next is my other favorite little
Uh,
spirit laying around,
well,
to protect the spirit.
this is the most powerful card in the game.
It literally is. Yeah. So protected spirit. This card cannot be destroyed by cards with 500 or more base attack. He has a base attack of 100. He can have 4 equipments on him, and you can have up to 3 in a portal of this card. Just right off the bat, he he's the best around of blocking. Just blocker. He will just block almost every card unless you got a sprite.
Yeah,
It's basically what it is.
yeah. He is the definition of Swords of Revealing Light.
Sprite or that herald. It's basically what you have to do.
um, I mean, honestly, like, Protected Spirit is a great card. Um, it's it's tough to get around. Um, the portal that Brian showed us, Tiny Takeover, show us the true power of Protected Spirit. Um, 4 EA is a lot. You can have three of this card. There's cards that let you search this card. Better than that one, that the one that we just put a D.
Hmm.
And it's great. It's better than great. It's amazing.
Yep. Especially, it has to be people less than at 400
Yeah,
or less.
it's SS for me.
Hmm.
Okay, mimic. Mimic.
All right.
If attacked while face down, flip a coin. If heads, is base attack is 800. If tails, its base attack is 1600. Um, this is a 1 EA multiple, and then the different types of attacks based on the coin. So there's two variations to this card. For those that don't know, there is Mimic and Vix Mimic. The only difference between Mimic and Vix Mimic is that Mimic is 800 and 1600, and Vix Mimic is 1000 and 2000. That's pretty much it
Basically, it's just a dumbed down version.
of a collector's edition.
Hmm.
I personally really like Mimic's art. It's a beautiful art, especially on the playmat. What do you think? Where would you place these two cards?
See, for regular Mimic, it's you're taking a gamble 50-50, trying to get a 1600, which is very uh, beefy with 1 EA still. Like, that's pretty nice, but it's still a gamble. I would rank it at a B because you still have to get that chance to even get the 1600.
Okay, and the other one?
Um, with that one at least having more base attack, it like, yes, it's nice and all. It's still 50-50. Like, it's at least a high. Mm, what do you think? High B into A or
So this is how I would place them. I would place Mimic, the regular Mimic, at a C because even its bigger amount of power isn't really that much bigger.
mhm.
Fix Mimic, the 2000 is a much bigger wall to get over, right? So you
Right?
always try to get for that big wall. Um, and it still has the 1 EA for both, right? So I can live with having Vix Mimic at with equipping something to it and having it be at maybe like 1400. While if I had to equip something to this Mimic, it would only be like maybe like a 1200.
Right.
I still think this one's way better than this one.
Yeah.
Now situationally, where would I place this? I would actually place this at top of B. This got me third place in the tournament out of sheer luck. Coin toss. Third game, this got me the win.
Mm.
So it works
With that 50-50 chance.
with a 50-50 chance. That's how it was, man. So, top of B for me,
All right.
and top of C for regular mimic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next one. This one.
Is that the Aurora Beast?
Yeah, you go for it.
So this card's attack is equal to 600 times the amount of different attribute cards in your discard pile. And the base attack is just 600 times whatever amount, and with 1 EA. Hmm. What's your thought on that?
People, for some reason, people don't use this card, but this card could be great. The problem is, one, you need cards in your discard pile, right? So, as we have talked in the past, if you don't have any cards in your discard pile, this card's zero. It's a problem, right? But the moment any attribute lands in your discard pile, this card becomes 600, right? That can be amber, right? Amber is an attribute. So the
Yeah.
moment you get amber and any other attribute, boom, that's 1200. The
It's
moment you
just a
get it,
sad thing with this card. It has to, at least to be mid tier, it has to have two or more different attributes in the discard for this to be even get to mid tier
right.
for it.
So, um, the good thing about this card is, and maybe we can see it as a comparison to some of the other cards, right? Because um, we've seen other cards that work a little bit the same, where it's you have a specific amount of cards in the discard pile. Um, how I see it is 600 times three attributes. That's 1800. Play it on turn three, turn four. You're good, right?
Mhm.
If you're playing more than one attribute, obviously you're trying to play more than one attribute with this card. So
Right.
that's where I'm at on that. So I think this card it needs the synergy,
Hmm.
but once it has the synergy, it's honestly like right there.
Okay. I can see that because he at least has a one equipment cost too.
Yeah. Also, I think it could work. It could definitely work. And again, it doesn't specify that it needs to be allies. It could be equips. It could be any card, right? So it's
That is true. It can just be any. Which, yeah, I can see that then.
yeah,
I definitely see that getting up there then.
yeah. I think this has been an underrated card. I haven't seen anybody play this card,
No, I
um,
haven't either.
but it might now in the future meme deck come up, and people might be surprised.
Hmm.
Okay, next one.
The first samurai.
Okay, start going for that one.
So, the first samurai. If this card were to be destroyed, you can banish one card with the word samurai in its name from your discard pile and negate the destruction. And he starts with a 1400 base attack.
Yeah, I believe this card was the card that TD loved to play.
Hmm.
Um, it's solid. This card is solid. On a full samurai portal, this card is broken.
Right, but you would have to specifically run a samurai team portal just to have this card just keep on negating and negating and negating.
Right, right. That's like the important part. Um, but once you do,
Hmm.
oof. Once you do, oof. Um, I think it's there.
Yeah. Um.
You think
Right. Right. Cause yeah, cause it has to have the
the
samurais.
synergy? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, next one we got this guy.
The spirit leader.
Go
The
for it.
sprite leader. So the sprite leader, this card gains 300 for every sprite in any discard pile, with a attack of 600 plus with two equipment slots. So this card, I used this in the tournament. I was able to get almost 4,000 base attack for this card.
How?
Just the amount of sheer power I was able to put out with this card.
Were you playing against an opponent that had tiny takeover?
No, actually, it this card it was because they also had sprites,
Okay, so
and
they
I
also
had
had.
I was the one that was discarding sprites though. He had at least had two of them, but I was the one that was just pumping out sprites just so this card can just get heavily up there.
Wow, that's pretty big. That's pretty impressive. Um, so where would you rank it?
So for this card, personally, for anyone else, I if anything, it would have to be a C or a B because you have to have sprites in
Right,
discards.
right.
It's nice that it has a 2 EA, it has a 600 power base attack though, but you have to have sprites in the discard.
Right.
Not on field. It just has to be strictly discard. But it is nice that it can be in any, which I can say will bump it to a B at least. In any discard pile. At least it doesn't have to be in yours.
Okay, I can see that. I'm agreeing
And
with you.
where would you rank him out of
I
the B? Where he is?
I think where it is, right.
Alright.
I think he's nice and comfortable there. Okay,
The perfect blocker.
bam. There you go. Ultimate Protector is a 1500 0 EA. While this card is on the field, no other cards can be targeted except for this one. This card's amazing, has a lot of attack. It is the king of blocking.
Mm-hmm.
It is SS tier. It's played on pretty much any,
Any single portal.
and it's that good. So it's a staple. Like literally, it is a staple. It'll be played for many sets just because it's that good.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, we have another really strong card is the Rhino Samurai. Rhino Samurai is a 900 multiple 1 EA. This card gains plus 200 for every card with the words Samurai in its name or field. Sorry, with its name on the field or in the discard pile. You can discard this card from your hand or field during your opponent's turn to negate an attack. So basically, this card buffs itself by having other samurai cards. This card can negate, and this card has a pretty solid amount of attack once you either equip something to it or you basically buff it with another samurai.
And you
Um,
can have multiple in this in a portal, which is just
yeah, so
nice to have.
the best part to me about this card is the fact that you can negate from hand. It is so easy to catch an opponent off guard when they're about to go for like a big play, a big kill, and you're like, oh, they're gonna destroy my best ally, and then they're gonna like wipe my board, and you go and negate from hand, and now their entire play is like it crumbles. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And this card allows you to do that. And not only it allows you to do that, as soon as you do that, it buffs any other samurai that you have in your any other rhino samurai that you have in the deck in the portal. So to me, it's ass. What about you?
Yep.
Okay.
It sits perfectly with the buffing, with the negating, the sneak attack from hand.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Okay. Um, Anubis. This card cannot be destroyed. If defeated, send it and any cards attached to it back to the original owner's portal. 800 base attack, 1 EA. Um, I've seen people play this card. I have a mixed feelings on it.
He's
Uh,
basically there as a distraction. It's all he is there for, or as a blocker, say on the first turn.
I mean, well, the thing is, if somebody kills it, it goes back into your portal,
Mm-hmm.
and they like they don't get the point. By the way, if somebody kills this card, they do not get the point
Nope.
because it's not destroyed. It's defeated, but it's not destroyed. To get the point, you need to destroy the card. So they don't get the point, so it goes back to your portal. But at the same time, it's like, do you really want to constantly keep seeing this card? Eh. Where would you place it?
For me, it's nice that yeah, you can keep on resending this one out. It's a nice, it's a nice little distraction, basically, or just as a one turn blocker in a way.
Yeah.
For
Um.
for me, I would say a low B because he's able to at least sit there and you know block or just be as a distraction, and I think that's about it. But you're at least able to keep on bringing him out
Yeah.
if you pull him.
Yeah. Um. I can put it at an A. Where would you put it in the A slot?
An A, I would put him as still at a low A, if
Low,
anything.
low A.
Yeah, just because he's not. There's not much else he can do, but just be there just to annoy the person. Just keep on sending him out if he does get defeated.
Yeah. I think there's good.
Okay.
Next one. Ooh, this one. A lot of people like this card. Chaos Kaiju. Chaos Kaiju is a 500 base attack, 2 EA. It has a very, very interesting effect of when summoned, flip over the top 3 cards of your portal and discard 1, banish 1, and place 1 in your hand. You can also choose to copy the and attack and effect of the card you placed in your hand. So the idea is if you uh, get a basically ally that is big and it has a big amount of attack or it has a very useful effect, you would typically want to clone that card because now that card substitutes the 500 and you essentially gain a pretty decently big uh, ally onto the field by just activating this, right?
Right.
Uh, if you clone, it's basically like cloning, right? If you clone a Deep Sea Knight, it means you get the Deep Sea Knight effect. If you clone Ultimate Protector, it means you get the Ultimate Protector effect. And so many other effects, right? Do not get the name. So if it was something like Rhino Samurai, you don't get the Rhino Samurai benefit because the name stays the same as Chaos Kaiju.
Hmm.
You still have 2 EA, which is insane, right? If you imagine you cloned No Name Dragon, and then now No Name Dragon has 2 EAs.
Jeez.
It's insane, right? Um, Plus, on top of that, you get to discard 1 card and banish 1 card. You get to choose which ones you want to discard, which ones to banish. So there is a way to play
Oh
with
man.
that.
Imagine discarding. You get the Aztec Knight and Aztec Knight with two EAs. Oh my.
Yeah, yeah. So many people have run into the situation where they pull this up, they get Neptune's armor as one of the cards that gets drawn. It's like, well, that's the instant discard, right? Because everybody just immediately discards Neptune's armor.
Hmm.
Well, and then for the banish card, it's like whatever the weakest card is, and you end up just with some other ally. Typically, you'll end up with some other ally. I have seen people just get 3 equipments, and it's bad luck for you. Because
See, that's the thing. That's the downside with this card. It's very situational. I can't say it's the best since you can. It's a possibility you can pull three equipments and then you can't do anything.
yep,
Or you
you're
can
stuck with a
pull,
500
or you can pull a low card, like a
like a sprite.
100. Yeah, and you would have to take the attack, which kind of ruins you.
Yep. So, but remember, you choose.
Right, or you can just get rid of it and just stay at the 500.
Yeah. Um, where would you place this?
Like it
It's a
can come in
gamble.
handy, but then there's the other side of it. I would say A, or yeah, an S or like a low S or a high A, because there's the chance that you can pull the three equipments, which doesn't help. But there's that chance that you can pull a really high base attack
I've seen
with
it.
the effect.
I've seen it pull off more times than it's failed. Like 100% of the time, I've seen it blow up rather than it failing.
Mm.
Just because it's three cards, right? It's like your card consists out of 30 cards in your portal. um, it's a good percentage right there, right? What is
Mhm.
it? 10% of your portal? Three cards? Believe so. So yeah, I think it's good. It's to me it's a low S tier. I could play
Okay.
this on any portal and it would be fine. I would be happy to see it. Next. Okay, through the portal. What are your thoughts on through the portal?
So with through the portal, you can choose to either discard any two cards from your field or send two cards from your field back to your portal. If you do, you can retrieve any one card from your portal. It costs three equipment space and it's a lightning card. I, I don't know. I never used it. It's that type of situation. Is like, imagine you pull sprites. Okay, you can discard. You can basically send them to the portal and then retrieve a better card. Yeah, but having the having it cost as a three
Yeah.
cost,
Yeah,
it really hurts.
I've run so many times to this card just being dead in my hand because I have nothing to pull it off. Like it's not like one of those other cards that says, "Oh, if you play it on your opponent's field and stuff, uh like you can play it for cost zero," right? Um Basically it's a solid card. Um but you need to make sure you have enough 3 EA cards available to run it. I think if you only have one card that has 3 EAs, I wouldn't run this card, no matter how good it is. And trust me, it's good. The ability to search for any card from your portal, equipment, knight, summon, whatever, is solid, right? It doesn't matter the attribute, doesn't matter, it's just any card. It's a solid effect. And most 99% of the time, people pick something like Zaldrex, people pick something like No Name Dragon. They basically go and find the best card in their portal, and that's what they go pick. When I was playing it for the tournament, and by the way, I was playing it in the worst possible situation ever, I would need to go find the 1000 dragon because of its effect, right? So
Mhm.
that was like the one card in my portal that I needed to get onto my board for my deck to really pop off. So this card was useful to do that, but I really only had like two cards that had 3 EAs. So like 70% of the time it was a dead card in my hand. I would put it at a
I say a D because it has to have a three cost. Like, I don't know how I feel with
I
stuff
think
like that.
C. I think C. I can't put it on D because I've seen so many people play this card and it has saved people's butts so
Okay.
many times. Because remember, you can play this as a reaction. Let's say
Mm.
somebody's about to attack you and you flip this and the attack that they were going to attack, you pick those two cards and you send them back to your portal. The attack fizzles and you still get to search. So
Mm,
people have
okay,
played
okay,
this defensively. It's just a matter of whether you can play it or not. So I think at a C is okay, and I think it's
okay.
better than Mimic.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, next one. Um, okay, grab that one.
Last warrior standing. Um, if you only have one ally on your field, this card gains plus 1,000 attack. If you can play this card from your hand on your opponent's turn as well. If this has plus 200 if you play it outright, or plus 1,000 if you do it with the effect. It has one equipment cost and it's a quick action.
Yeah. So just so people are clear, since it's a lightning bolt effect, it's a quick effect. It only lasts until the end of the turn. AKA when the end of the turn ends, the 1,000 goes away or the plus 200 goes away. 99% of the time you're going to play this when you're trying to get for the plus 1,000, right? So you're going to wait for that moment where you only have one last ally on the field and you're going to buff that ally, and that's how you're going to survive, right? Um it's a solid card. Honestly, to me it's a high A. It's actually, I would put it right here.
Okay.
I've
Yeah, because with the 1,000 plus for having just one ally, it definitely comes in handy for only being a one cost too.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a one cost. It's a nice way to just, how we put what was it? Hidden Leaf Knight and White Strike Knight pretty high up there. This is essentially that, but as a equip.
Hmm.
The problem, and why I wouldn't put it higher than A, is that it's just an equip and it only lasts for one turn. Meanwhile, Hidden Leaf Knight and White Strike Knight, they can't be destroyed the turn they are summoned, so it gives you a little bit of extra protection layer from somebody trying to go directly into your life.
Hmm.
So, uh, yeah, um, I think high A is good. Okay, next
Right.
one.
It is the relic sword.
What do you think about it?
All it is plus 600 attack and then one equipment cost. For that, I mean, for 600 base attack, it's not bad. I mean, I give it credit. Having no equipment, I mean, it's a letdown, but that's a pretty high just attack just for a one cost.
I would play this in
Just,
any portal. Just saying.
mm-hmm.
Like, this can be played in literally any portal because it's just one, and you essentially get plus 600.
That's a
600,
lot.
it's so high. It is such a high amount. I cannot believe this card exists. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what is it? Aztec Knight? If you give a guy that has 800 or 900 attack this card, they can kill Aztec Knight,
It would just go straight through them.
right? So it has to be 900 though. I believe Aztec Knight specifies that it has to be
900 or higher.
exactly. So the ally needs to have 900, and then you can equip this card, and then you can beat Aztec Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like my
But,
Rhino Samurai right here.
yep. For the relic sword as is, it definitely is amazing.
Yeah. So where would you put it? Would you put it S or A?
For that, I think it sits where it is. You can basically use that in any portal.
Yeah. Okay. Good. 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 Okay. Just want to make sure. Um, where am I at?
Decisive end.
Okay. Decisive End is a equip. Banish any one card from the field. If you do, end your turn. If you have no cards on your field, you can play this card for 0 EC on either player's turn. This card costs 2 EA, and it can be a quick effect. So, um, number one, I would play this on your opponent's turn after they clear your board. Um, that's how I would play it. Number two, um, it's it's a clutch card. You're trying to remove something bothersome like a protected spirit or Zaldrex or no name dragon or something annoying. That's why I would use this because it's 2 EA. Um, any other comments?
I, you had it right there. That's about it. It's basically you're trying to get rid of those annoying cards, as
Yeah,
what you said, like the Protective Spirit, Aztec Knight. At times, it's basically all it is for. Just get rid of those tough cards just to free yourself.
yeah. Now the problem is that you do lose the turn, right? You end the turn,
Right.
but sometimes it's worth it to give up the turn to get rid of a bad card, right?
Mhm.
Um, it, it's sometimes the best play. So I think it's at a high A. I would actually put it right at before this guy. So
Okay.
what do you think?
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, next one.
The the kaiju sword, which is just plus 300, and it's no equipment cost.
Oh, wait. I forgot. It was no equipment cost. Yeah.
Yeah, that one you don't need anything, and it's 300 off the bat, which can be perfectly suited for the Ultimate Protector, Aztec. It's basically just a nice little buffer for them.
Yeah. I say it's right in line with this.
Yep, just because it just doesn't cost anything. You can just keep on throwing things on other people that don't have zero equipment space, literally.
Yeah. We learned a lot from the fights with TD about equipments. He pulled out every single possible equipment that we thought that nobody would ever use. He used it, and we were all like, "Oh well, we didn't think of that." Or like a lot of these weird equipments that typically people weren't running. He just started pulling them out.
Mm.
Um, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny seeing Chaos Sword just be used like that.
Hmm.
Next one, United Army. It's a 2 EA plus 300 Anthem effect. All allies on your field benefit from this card. So basically, it's a plus 300 to everyone on the field.
Hmm.
What do you think about it?
So I actually do like this card. For it to be able to be placed on, say, someone who has two equipment space, and then you throw this on here, and then basically everyone on your field gets a plus 300. It's like the what's that card though? The white mech,
Yeah.
where you get the bonus.
So
It's basically that, but the sad thing is with this one, it costs the two equipment space
the
for it.
yeah. They The problem with this is along the same line of some of the other kingdoms cards that we've seen in some of the other portals. There's the 2 EA cost. Yes, this one doesn't have anything else. It doesn't have any strings attached, right? It's just a flat plus 300, which is good, but it's weak. It's for 2 EA, it's weak.
Hmm.
So, I'm going to have to just say there. That's where I would put
Okay,
it.
I can agree with that.
Okay, next one.
The resurrection.
Yes.
You can retrieve one ally from any discard pile. If you do, it gains plus 300 attack until the end of the turn. It costs 2 equipment space, and it's a quick action lightning bolt. What's your what's your thought on that?
I would never play this. Ever.
I I I can I can see some potential in it. Yes, with the plus 300 attack with the attack it already has, but sadly it it ends at the end of your turn.
Yeah, and well, not only that, it's like you're paying 2 EA to bring something back from the dead, right? You're trying to get something from the discard pile. And note that is any, right? It's like a monster reborn where you can grab from your opponent's side, right?
Hmm.
Um yes, it buffs them for 300 until the end of the turn, but you paid 2 EA to bring something
Honestly.
back. Deep Sea Knight does it and it gains plus 300 for free. There's so many other cards that do the same effect for free. So I don't see how this is worth it unless you're playing a very specific portal where you're scared that whatever you are trying to land on the board, something like Amber Dragon, right? Amber Dragon, where it's a winning condition, you want to make sure that you get those cards on your hand, and you don't want
Hmm.
to make sure that they don't land on the discard pile. So you want to try to revive maybe one that died or something. So at the end of the day, um, no. Uh, I personally wouldn't play this card that much. I tried to play it once. It was way too much of a hassle because it was too costly.
Hmm.
Um, but even at that, people might use it. So I'll put it at here.
Yeah. They're like, yes, you can revive someone, but other than that, for costing 2, oof.
Yeah. Oof, indeed.
At least like the Sapphire, you can at least, be able to retrieve once per turn, not like this.
You better be reviving something that will make a meaningful impact.
Right.
Like Zaldrex or 1000 Dragon or
Hmm.
because if you tell me you revived
A
because I don't
sprite.
know freaking Sprite or honestly or even something that like might not even be that if you revive White Rogue Knight and you only have like 2 allies on the field, I have no idea why you did that.
Hey man, if you revive a toxic water sprite, will you be mad?
uh, I would be
Think of it.
livid. I would be livid.
Think of it. You can throw it on someone's field just to mess with.
Livid.
All
Next
right.
one is the
Oh,
king. Sorry, I'm sorry, sorry. Just this goes right there. Right
oh,
there.
of course. The drag to the grave. Just sending any one any one card to the field on the field to the discard pile. This does not count as a card destroyed, so they don't get a point. But you can send them to the discard pile. You can play this card from your hand on your opponent's turn as well, which also really benefits you.
Yeah. This card only costs 1. It can
Hmm.
be played from your hand. It can be played at any point on your opponent's turn at any point. Yeah, well, there's one little caveat. You can't play it on your own turn after you started attacking. That's the only caveat, right? Um, but you can put it face down if you want to. Why would you? I have no idea. I would never put this card face down. I would keep it in my hand until I need it. Um, this is the only card in the game right now that does not meet the criteria of other cards. So it is not banishing, it is not exiling, It is not destroying. It is not defeating. It is just send. And send is such a powerful word in TCG games because it basically just goes above a lot of things. Um, Keith's favorite card is this card. I understand why. It's really good. It's your get out of free jail card, basically. So very very powerful. Every single deck should run this. If you don't, I don't know what you're doing. It's a common card, so many people have it. It's super easily accessible. By the way, I'm gonna make a very good point here. The one thing I really love about Knights and Summons is like cards like this that it's such a powerful card and it's common. It's a lot of the cards in Knights and Summons that you can easily build a powerful portal around are normal cards, are commons and uncommons. So yes, there are very powerful rares and secret rares and collector edition cards, but just simple OP cards like this can easily make you a deck. So you don't really like the barrier to entry is basically non-existent. Um, as opposed to many other TCGs, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
just saying that. Okay, next one.
The unexpected surprise.
Yeah. Also,
S-
go for
hmm?
it. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, so if this card is attached to a face down card, it gains plus 1000. If attached to a card that is face up, it gets plus 500. And then it has a 2 equipment cost, and it's a quick action lightning bolt.
Yep. So this is a OP trap card, basically. You put this on something face down that has two EAs, and you wait.
Mm-hmm.
And when that person gets attacked, you essentially flip both cards. You have to flip both cards, by the way. You cannot just flip one card and then be like, oh yeah, no, you have to flip both cards because that's how you would get the 1000.
Right.
Um, and then you essentially, make your opponent regret attacking this card.
That's basically what.
You smile and wave, smile and wave. Yeah, this card's really good. I think it's like right here. I think I would put it there because it needs to be face down. That's
Yeah.
that's the only reason. Um, yeah, that's probably where I would put it. By the way, plus 1000 um is it's big, but even plus 500 can like very easily disrupt your opponent. Like let's say
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason you needed to face up, the monster that you had or the ally that you had for X and Y reason, you can keep this face down. It no longer gives you the 1000, it gives you the 500. Um but 500 is still pretty decent. Most equip cards only give you like 400 to 500 if it's of a specific attribute, but they only cost one. This one costs two. That's the big problem here, that it
Yeah.
costs two. But it costs two because of the 1000, not because of the 500.
Right, right. And you don't want to play it off the 500 unless, as what you said, someone, forces you to flip your card, but other
Yeah,
than that,
yeah. Um, yeah, I'll leave it at this one. I think this one is better. Is still a better card. This card over here is a way better
yeah,
than this one, but it's still very good. Next one. We got this card.
the Sword of Power.
What do you think about Sword of Power?
All it is 1200 1200 attack with a cost of three equipment space. I don't know. It's like the cosmic entity, but
It's
as
yeah, it's
as
cosmic
only
entity, but it's only an equip.
which I don't know how to feel about it. With I
I
mean, hmm,
I would put it here. Actually, here. I don't know. Like I haven't.
I
I don't play this card. I
I
know
haven't
people who
either.
do. I know people who do. Like Sprite, Tiny Takeover plays this card. You know, portals that use a lot of high EA allies play this card. And I guess I have to move it up then to A then. It's a synergy thing, right? You
Hmm.
need a portal that synergizes with high EA and EC cost. But once it does, plus 1,200 is not bad on a portal of you can probably equip this to Amber Knight and now it's huge, right?
Right. Like I wouldn't put it any higher because it's like cosmic entity, and I personally would put cosmic entity in A because you can play it as both. Because you can play it as is, or you can play it as an equipment.
Oh
But
yeah.
with this one, you can only do it as just an equipment, which loses the downfall of it. Like, yeah, it's still nice, but there's only one side to it.
Yeah. By the way, I pulled up Cosmic Entity up. So Cosmic Entity is a um damn I should have
1200 base attack.
it is 1200 base attack. It has a effect that reads
It can also be treated as an equipment card.
there you go. And it has an EA of 2 and an EC of 3. So if you're equipping this as a equip to something else, you that equip ability for the ally that you're equipping to needs to be at least 3. But to Cosmic Entity as itself, you can equip up to 2 EA cost cards.
Hmm.
So and I honestly think Cosmic Entity is a better sort of power, just because you have that body to choose
Right.
one or the other. Um, going back to sort of power, where is it? I think I would put Cosmic Entity here. Where would you put it?
I think where you have it is just right, and then the sword of power just low A because that it's all it's used for.
Yep. Okay, next one. Chaos King. What do you think about Chaos King?
So personally, I haven't used them myself, but everyone everyone in uses them, is
Okay,
what I've seen.
Chaos King is a unknown attack, and the reason why it's unknown is because of its effect. It's a 0 EA. When summoned, roll a six-sided die. This card's attack is equal to the number you roll times 500. So essentially, the unknown or the question marks there is essentially just a 500x.
Hmm.
Um, Now, if you roll one or two, this card gains 2 EA and cannot be destroyed or banished for 3 turns. If you roll a 3 or 4, your portal, search your portal for any one card, and this card cannot be destroyed or banished for 2 turns. If you roll a 5 or a 6, your opponent can retrieve one card from their portal, and this card cannot be destroyed or banished for 1 turn. So essentially, you're juggling the fact that you gain a little bit of EA, you search a card, or you let your opponent search a card.
It's basically saying try to stay between 1 through 4. Don't pass 4.
And even if
Y-
you pass 4,
Which
you're essentially at a 25 to 3,000
mhm,
attack.
which
Eh,
is hefty.
Yeah, and you cannot be destroyed or banished for one turn, which is insane. Like that's
Like
why this card's so good. Like
yes, he's definitely SS. Me personally, I don't know how I feel. Like, do I really want to pass 4? I mean, yes. I mean, to hit 2,500 or 3,000. But having them to retrieve one card, you never know if that one card that they retrieve will hurt you. Let's
hell,
put it like that.
well, 99% of the time, the one card that they retrieve is dragged to the grave so that they can send Chaos King to the grave.
Yeah.
That's what I've done. Literally, they do that. I pull up Drag to the Grave. I immediately activate Drag to the Grave,
Hmm.
and they say bye bye.
But
Because
that's a low out of the whole portal. I mean, it's a low chance unless they already have it in their hand. And
well,
uh
the reason why it specifically has to be Drag to the Grave, because if it's not
huh.
Drag to the Grave, you can't destroy it or banish it, right?
Yeah, you have
You
to
can't
wait out those turns,
yeah,
basically.
you can't do banishing gaze, you can't do banishing blade or any of that. You need Drag to the Grave. That's why Drag to the Grave is literally the best card in Amber.
Hmm.
But this card's great. I would
Most definitely.
place this card honestly here. That's where I would play it.
Okay. You wouldn't put it over at Aztec Knight? What's your thoughts on that?
It's just Aztec Knight. Actually, yeah, I think I would put it
Because
above
remember,
Aztec.
he can get the two. He can get EA off of if he is under 900.
Yes, yes.
But he would have to roll a 1 for that.
Man, if you roll a one, oof, I'm so sorry. This is
Right.
the most pathetic king. Um,
It's a 1 in 6 chance. I mean, it's always a possibility.
yeah. You do
He's not a
you
king
you
anymore.
you do get you do get three turns where it can't be destroyed or banished, but at that point it's like, oof. Okay, next one. Okay, Knights and Summon. The most honestly to me it's one of those beautiful cards in the portal. Sorry, in the set. By the way, these are secret rares, just in case anybody was trying to figure out. They
Mhm.
had the little 3 stars at the corner. Um, so Knights and Summons is a 2,500 base attack. That's huge.
It's
You can only play
insane.
this card by discarding 2 allies from your field. This card is destroyed after 2 turns. Here's the thing. Um, there is a way to get around the discard. Sorry, the destroy, and that is with a there's a there's a way to equip this card to basically have Dark Chaos Sword, I believe it is, um, so that you don't have to destroy it, essentially. So basically,
Yeah.
this is how it goes, right? Um, you can lower the EA of Dark Chaos Sword and place it on this card. And if you do place it on this card, when the effect is going to happen of this card is destroyed after 2 turns, the effect of Dark Chaos Sword can activate, where I believe it is if this card were to be destroyed, you can destroy this card instead. You get what I'm
Uh,
saying?
Yeah, but I also had another idea. How would this card be in effect if you put a Heart of say if you got the way to put Heart of Life on it?
Yeah, that's another one, right? So
Yeah, because there's at least an equipment that costs 0 to be able to have an equipment space on
yeah,
someone, and you can throw Heart of Life on him.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Um,
Trying to figure out what that equipment's called again, because it's what I use for the 0 cost, for the 0 equipment space people.
I don't remember what it's called.
I'm trying to
Um,
find where it is. It's an equipment.
so okay, let's grade this as it is, right? Knights
Mm-hmm.
and Summon, it's a great card. It's a great way to defeat high powered cards. The cost is a little bit big. Two allies on the field is a little bit steep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would highly recommend you doing this when you know you have things to throw out, maybe sprites, maybe your opponent's allies. You can just use them as fodder. Um, if you were to steal them. Um, it's tricky. It's not a card I would put in my portal unless I'm building something like a combo with it, or I'm not gonna play it unless I know I can ignore the bad aspect of it. The best card, and this is the king, the best card to combine this card with is Chaos Kaiju because you can take just the attack
Ah, yeah,
and
yeah.
not the effect.
Mm.
So,
But with that being said, you can take the effect, but you still have his 2 equipment cost, so you don't have to use that equipment that gives you the plus EA.
yeah, but why would you do that? Just don't take the effect. Like, just use the 2 EA to give it more power.
Yeah, too.
I
You can do a risky route with that.
yeah, I would put this card at I would put this at a high B.
Hmm. Just because you basically have to do as much as possible within the 2 turns.
Right. Right.
And then I did find the card that does play an effect with it. It's the King Kaiju sword, which allows an ally to equip with this card plus 1 EA.
Oh, there you go. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Actually, we're gonna cover the King
Yeah.
Kaiju sword soon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Chaos power.
Chaos Power, the last secret rare of the Origin set, and one of
Hmm.
the most crazy cards. Okay, so Chaos Power is a plus 400 equipment that is 0 cost, which is ridiculous.
Hmm.
This card has two effects. If activated during your turn, it gains plus 400, aka whatever you equipped it to gains plus 400. To activate from your hand on your opponent, to activate from your hand on your opponent's turn, you must have less points than them. That's kind of like a condition. If so, when played, send all send all cards on their field back to their portal. You cannot attack them directly during your next turn, and the quick effect ability only applies to the second effect. So, basically, if you play this face down on one of your allies and you revealed it, essentially you don't have the quick effect. But if you played this, which is how 99% of the people are going to play it, you play it as a, from your hand while you're losing and your opponent's about to blow you away, you play this, you essentially get rid of your entire opponent's board. That's it. Um, there's two ways, right? You can do this. You can do it on your turn, get in for 1 point. You can do it as soon as their turn's about to end, and then you can't attack them directly next turn. Um, there's multiple ways of doing it, but my biggest suggestion is uh, play this in a way that you get as many points as possible um, from Chaos Power. Any thoughts on it, Term?
Um, basically, you covered that up. You just want to play it in a way where you can get the most points out of it. Like, yes, you try to get rid of all his powerful cards, and then he basically just gotta. He has to play it slowly just to get back into the game,
Right.
essentially.
Um, I think this card is. I think I think it's high S tier. I don't think it's SS,
Mm-mm.
but I think it's S.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that.
Because again, it's not like it destroys your entire opponent's board. Yes, it
You
sends
just
them
send them back.
right, which is disruptive as hell, right?
Hmm.
It could be crippling. Somebody that has a full board and you send all of them to their back to the board. That's again send being the powerful the word here. It's pretty big. It's a pretty nasty card. So yeah. Um, next we have the big boy, the infinite rare. Oh wait, no. Saldrix is fire, right?
Yeah, it's Ultrix is
We
fire.
we already covered Saldrix. Sorry.
The next card is probably actually gonna be extra draw.
Let's see. Uh, wait, don't we grab some of these ones down here?
Oh, I went too far. I went to portals. Collectors. Do.
Yeah, Crystal Dragon.
Yep.
So Crystal Dragon is a pretty sick card. It is, I believe. Oh wait, I'm trying to find it.
It has a effect, a secondary effect, or a skill they call it, a double strike. This card can attack twice per turn, and then the effect of it is this card can also be treated as an equip card. The ally with this card also gains the card's trait, meaning the double strike.
Yeah.
And it has 1,000 base attack if it's played as is. You can have multiple of this card. It has one equipment space, or it's a 3 EA cost.
Yep. So, the funny part about this card, um, is that, uh, and we talked about. There's actually an actual ruling on this card on the Discord, and it's the only card that actually is currently available that works this way. If you equip this card to another card, not only does it get double strike, it gets 1,000 as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is the only card right now that has uh that double effect thing. Um and it's sick. Um you can play it as standalone or you can play it with as an equipped to something like a sprite or something like protector spirit, you know. So
Or you can just throw it on Cosmic Entity, and then boom, you're already at 22. Oh, take
so,
that back. Other way
no,
around.
yeah,
You
because
can't do that
yeah, yeah.
because
So
he Yeah, he's a 3 cost,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he only has 1 space.
But
Basically,
there's
it's
many other
just
people. There's many other, like Amber Knight you can equip it to, and it'll blow away, right?
mhm.
There's many other cards that you can equip this to. But yeah. Uh, next one is, oh, by the way, where do we want to put Crystal Dragon?
For him to be able to have basically have a trait on someone, that's pretty helpful. For it to cost 3, it's pretty drastic. I'll rate him at a B because you would have to have someone at a 3 or higher equipment space to even have this card on them.
I would go a little bit
Or you can,
higher.
I was about to say, or you can play him as is, which is also nice.
Yeah, yeah. I think at an A, I think it's a good place to put it at.
Where were you rated in A?
Um, hmm. I would play this card more than all these other cards.
Okay.
Actually, more than this.
Yeah, I can see that since it can attack twice.
Yeah, because of the attacking twice. Correct. Um, you know, give it some slight buff, and it's still attacking twice, right?
Hmm.
Next one
It's the White
is,
Opal Dragon,
isn't it the? Oh yeah, it's the White Opal Dragon.
which it has the trait of resistance. This card cannot be destroyed by attacking face down cards, which is a nice little trait if they have trap cards.
Yeah. Um,
Well, if the well, or if their card has more base attack, that's what it is. If it has more base attack.
right. It's a kind of like a guarantee that you're not gonna get screwed.
The effect is this card gains plus 200 for every equipped card in your opponent's discard pile. And then it has a 1300 base attack with 1 equipment space.
Um, where would you put it?
For that, the effect is situational. They would have to. It's only in your opponent's discard pile what it's going off of. You basically got to play off of your opponent, and it has to be equipment cards too.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't like that part about it. I would put it here.
yeah, because at least with the trait, it can't get destroyed by face down cards, which is nice. But other than that, you have to play off of your opponent.
Yeah, let's say there. Next one is this one.
The Black Opal Dragon, which is resistance as well. This card cannot be destroyed by attacking face down cards, which is the same. When played, discard 1 face down equipment cards. Discard 1 face down equipment cards on the field. This card gains plus 200 for every equipment card in your discard pile.
Yeah.
And then
So yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
with the 1200 base attack and 1 equipment space.
This is completely the complete opposite of White Opal Dragon,
Hmm.
and sadly, it gains all the best traits of the White Opal Dragon. Like literally, the one when played, discard 1 face down equipped card on the field. That could be your opponent's field as well. By the way, so you can literally just discard something from your opponent's field.
Hmm.
Two, it's buffing for 200 for every equip card on your discard pile. That means if you're equip heavy, you know this guy's gonna go pretty high up.
Right.
So it's situational. So I will put it there.
At least, yes. At least it's better than the white opal.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think low A. Okay. Next one. The goddess Kalia, and I'm gonna grab the better version of her. So Goddess Kalia, this card cannot be played face down. you must first discard 3 cards from your field in order to play this card. When played, exile all cards in your opponent's discard pile. She's a 1400 divine 1 equip. So this card is insane. Yes, you have to pay the cost for her, but the idea that you can just completely nuke your opponent's discard pile, let's say they were running a bunch of sprites, they were running a bunch of negates, like golems, samurais, dark cards that synergize with the discard pile.
Mhm.
And like even water, like you're disrupting their entire field by just
Like
one
the
card.
Neptune
Yeah,
armor and everything.
yeah, just by playing this card. It does have a high cost. You need to discard 3 cards from your field, but you're
Mhm.
only gonna do that if you know you're gonna win the game.
Right.
You
With
better win
one
the game.
equipment space
Yeah, you better
as
win
well.
the yeah, you better win the game after that. I think it is. I think I would put it there. Actually, there.
Okay. Yeah, with having that drastic, you have to discard 3 cards. I mean, you can just scrap the 3 cards on your field, basically.
Yeah,
If they're like sprites, if you had sprites, you could just place them down and then scrap them out, literally in the same turn, basically.
yeah, basically. And you can keep doing stuff after the end of this. Like you play this and you discard 3 cards from your field, and you can play 3 other cards. Literally,
Mhm.
it's insane. um. Okay, next one. Do you want to go for the next goddess?
Yep. The Goddess Kyrie. So it has the trait of Double Strike. This card can attack twice per turn. In order to play this card, you must first exile 1 equipment card from your inventory, 1 card from your discard pile, and then the top card of your portal. This card cannot be banished or exiled with a base attack of 1600 with no equipment space. So it has a nice high base attack, and it's able to attack twice with that nice base attack. But you would basically have to exile, banish, and discard a card.
I mean, that's
Exile,
fine. Like, literally, it's
exile, no
ex-
banishing. It's just
exile
discarding.
exile 1 equip card from your hand. That's fine.
Right, right.
1 card from your discard pile. Who cares? It's in the
Hmm.
discard pile. And then the top card from your portal. Again, who cares? This card cannot be banished or exiled, and it has
Right.
16, and it's attacking twice. She's insane.
Hmm. Especially if the other opponent doesn't have anything, that off the rip you can just attack twice.
Yeah, I would put her there.
Okay.
I think she's great.
Hmm.
Okay, last guy. Wanna go for it?
Next. Oop. Last one from the collector.
Yeah, no name.
No name. All right. In order to summon this card, you must have at least 1 earth, fire, and water attribute in your discard pile. This card cannot be banished or exiled with the nice chunk of 3000 base attack.
Yep.
No equipment space.
This card is huge. Getting the conditions to summon it is a piece of cake. Um, we know this from uh, basically so many people have summoned this very easily. Um, you can chaos kaiju it. Um, you can and by the way, if you Chaos Kaiju it, uh it gains the cannot be banished and exiled, and you don't have to pay the cost, which is amazing, right? Um 3,000 is such a high number, and you can't banish it or exile it, which
Hmm.
means the only thing you can do really is drag to the grave it or defeat it in combat.
And then
Um,
defeating in combat will take some time because you have to get someone stacked or already have it stacked. It's basically what you have to do.
yeah, basically. Yeah, it's pretty high up there. So, where would you put it?
Um, honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't say everyone should be running this. Like it's nice, but I wouldn't say in every portal. I would say S tier,
Yeah,
but
I would say S tier.
I don't think every portal should be at least carrying that. I mean, you can throw it here and there just to have a little trump card, but that would be about it.
Yep, I agree with you. Okay, next one.
The
Amber
extra
Knight.
draw.
No, no, Amber
Oop.
Knight.
Okay.
Still got all these guys. Okay, so Amber Knight. Amber Knight is this card cannot be um destroyed, I believe, by um it is this card cannot be destroyed by any Amber card. It's a 1,000 and it has 3 EAs. That's huge. Having 3 EAs is super impressive.
Mhm.
I've used this card a bunch of times because it comes in pretty clutch. Just the fact that, um, let's say half of these cards that are here that are powerhouses, they're all amber. So that means that they cannot destroy this card.
Right, right.
No matter how big they are, they can't go over him. By the way, what type is Amber Dragon? No, a no name dragon. I don't remember what type no name dragon is.
They didn't classify him as one. He's
Oh,
just there to be there.
got it. Cool.
That
Um,
is what I've seen, but I'm not 100% with that either.
okay. Yeah, well, we covered him in the last tier list, so that's cool. Okay. Where would you put Amber Knight?
As what you said, there's a lot of big beefy amber cards. It it basically still plays an act that it what if I mean they're not an amber card. It still can get through this card.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
But being where it sits, like I would say A, because as what you said, there's a lot of good amber cards out there.
Where in A would you put it?
Ooh.
Does it need
If
to
and
synergize?
it, I I wouldn't think it can definitely stand on its own. It's just the effect. It has to. It only plays an act with other amber cards. Basically, you have to be going against.
Right. Maybe B tier then?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mm, I would say at least past the mimic.
Okay.
But not over. You think over Knights and Summon?
I think I would play him more than Knights and Summons. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Next one is Chaos Sword. So Chaos Sword is a 200x Roll a six-sided die. This card attack boosts is equal to the number rolled times 200. If you roll a 5 or a 6, this card is destroyed at the start of your next turn. 2 EA cost. What do you think about it?
I I definitely love its effect. It's a nice little boost in the card effect. Like it's nice that if you roll 5 or 6, oh man, you're already hitting 1,000, 1,200 off a 2 cost. But sadly, it does get destroyed. It's kind of like you have to stay below that just so you can keep the effect, keep the bonus. You have to hit a 4 or less.
I would never play this card.
Which I mean, it makes sense if you don't play it because you're taking a chance for a 2 cost.
One, you're taking a chance. Could literally get plus 200 for a two cost. Literally, it's a two cost. We're talking about Relic Sword up here gives you plus 600 guaranteed for a one cost.
Mm-hmm.
K
Or
Kaiju
chaos, the
like
kaiju sword.
Kaiju Sword gives you 40 plus 300. Literally, this card is pointless when those other cards exist.
I can see that with the 2 equipment costs and messing it up.
Yeah, this card should have been a one equip cost.
Mm. Yeah.
It should have. That would and it's a box topper, right? So it should have been a one equip cost. That way, it's like solid. Um, I would honestly put this at D tier. Honestly, D tier.
Hmm.
Just
I,
because,
I don't know. I would say unusable. I wouldn't say unusable because if you do at least hit higher, then I guess it makes sense. Yeah,
yeah, D
I
tier
think
to
he should.
me.
Yeah,
D tier to me. Next one is Sir George.
the orc.
So Sir George the Orc is a 400 block 3. So this card can block 3 times, and essentially what that means is if somebody declares an attack, you can essentially intervene in that attack and take the attack for the for your ally. Um, it has 4 EA. It's an orc type, and every time one of your opponent allies would attack, this card flips a coin. If heads, negate the attack. So essentially, for 3 blocks, you could potentially flip 3 coins and negate all 3 attacks. Problem is, if you miss any of those um, attacks, you die. It dies.
Hmm. So
And
it's a 50-50 chance if orc lives or he dies.
yep.
Hmm.
Um, and the problem is your opponent gains a point.
Yep.
So
For me, I would use him just to have just that potential chance.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him.
He's like another blocker basically, but like a low end blocker.
I would put him here.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay, next one. Uh,
The first 1,000 dragon.
yep. Okay. First 1,000 dragon is um, it's a 1,000 plus plus, so it's an anthem effect. 0 EA. To play this card, so it has a condition to play. You must at least uh, you must at least have one ally on your side of the field with a base attack of 1,000 in a face-up position. While this card remains on the field, all your allies with a base attack of 1,000 gain another 1,000, and this card cannot be banished. Basically, what that means is this card um gets the 1000 first of all. So if you play it on the field because you had another 1000 ally on the field, he's now a 2000 and that other ally is now a 2000. So it's insane, but it needs synergy. And
Hmm.
it's a huge amount of synergy specifically. It needs cards that have the 1000. But once it gets it, oof, right there. That's where I
Right.
would put it.
And to only play this card, you have to already have an 1,000. So right off the bat, this card is already good up there. It's basically starting at 2,000 essentially.
And it cannot be banished.
Hmm.
Which actually I didn't even realize that it couldn't be banished. I might have potentially misplayed this a billion times because I didn't even remember that it couldn't be banished. And I think I
Yeah.
let other opponents banish it for me.
To be honest, I didn't notice that either.
Yeah.
I was too distracted with hey plus 1,000.
Yep. Okay, next one. Crystal Summon. You want to cover that one?
So search for your portal for any summon card and add to your field or inventory. If you have 0 allies on your field, you can play this card from your inventory on your opponent's turn before their attack phase for 0 equipment cost. And if you don't do that, it is a 3 cost equipment with a quick action. I don't know. I mean, what's your thought on that?
Um, so it's cool and all, the whole searching for a summon card. Paying full cost for this is problematic. Um, the problem with this card is to activate it for 0 cost, you need to do it before they attack. So the problem with that is typically you would want to do this at the end of their turn, but you can't, right? Um, and if you do it before they attack, that means that your board is pretty much empty and they're gonna gain 1 point. Um, Here's how I play this card, or how I would play this card. Turn one, pass, they go, they attack. Turn one, right? Or sorry, before they attack, I play this card. I search for the specific summon I want. They attack me for 1 point, and then when it's back to my turn, I go off and play whatever I need to play. That's how I would play this card. If you're more than a turn in, and you have allies on the field, I think it's a very, very niche card to play. To get a specific summon, it has to be a summon. Um, so it's difficult. It's honestly very, very difficult. You probably want to get Zaldrix out of that. It's like the best option you can get, or maybe like No Name Dragon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know what else you would really, really want to get. Maybe Knights and Summons.
Right, right. That's
So so it's niche. I would put this
I
there.
I don't. Okay.
There. We have had other what is it, searcher cards, right? The summon cards, and we always put them at C because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they cost 2 and they only search for one specific attribute.
Hmm.
Well, here one costs 3 and it only searches for summons. So effectively it's worse. Yeah, that's my logic.
Right.
Um,
Next is the Dragon Knight.
Dragon Knight. Go for it.
When summoned, flip over the top 5 cards of your portal. This ally's base attack is equal to 500 times the number of dragons you flipped. When finished, shuffle the cards you flipped back into your portal. Base attack is plus question mark for the amount of dragons you flip over, and it has a 2 equipment space.
So it's essentially
Oh,
500x.
500x, yeah.
Yeah. So the funny thing is it could be zero, because if you flip 5 equipment cards, you're screwed. Um, Problem with this card, it'll only work on a dragon portal, and you need to be running a higher number of dragon cards than equip cards, just so you hit at least 4 out of 5, right?
Mm.
You want to get that 4 out of 5, because if you don't get that 4 out of 5, I mean, 3 might be good
But yeah, you're
because
at least at average with 15.
and you get the 2 EA, by the way. 2 EA is
Wh-
nothing to scoff at, right? At
Which
the
is the card is I guess coloring is a little off. It's showing as has 2 equipment cost, like it costs 2 equipment. But
Wait, is it?
yeah, when you look at it on the website, it's the light purple, which it's saying that it costs 2
Oh,
equipment.
oh, oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, we need to tell Brian to fix that. Um, Interesting. Um, okay, the next one. Oh, where would you place it, by the way?
You would have to be running a dragon team for that. Like
Yeah.
it's specifically dragon you have to run, and it's just a chance of pulling the dragons. So I mean, I would rank it a C, B. Like it can be good, but you have to have that potential
Yeah,
of luck.
I place it there.
Okay.
Okay, next one is the armament thing.
The
Uh,
helm of the lost monarch.
yes, which is a 400 plus 300 if it lands on heads. So you flip a coin, and if it lands on heads, you gain the plus 300 for 1 EA. No,
And
actually,
I mean, it's a 50-50 chance
at plus
uh,
700.
for plus 700 for 1 EA.
Yeah,
Or, I mean, plus 400. I mean, that's still not bad.
that's insane, dude.
Yeah.
And then here's the other one.
The Obsidian Oath Guard armor.
Yeah, that's 400 plus 300 if you land on tails for 1 EA. That's
Mm-hmm.
insane. So, I would say both of those are S tier. Just
Yep.
even like
Because
it's good.
for one cost 400 or one cost for 700. My
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah. Um, so the next one is man, there's so many Amber
Are we
cards.
in the Brightfire portal now?
Believe so. Yes, I believe so. So Bright Fire Portal is.
That's Green Amber, actually. That's not
Oh,
Brightfire.
sorry. Green Amber, Green Amber.
Okay, so we're going to Green Amber instead. Okay.
So Green Amber has Amber Paladin. Amber Paladin is
Ooh, that's a little harder to see.
if
Um,
this oh, if this card has an Amber sprite equipped to it, it cannot be destroyed by any Amber cards. If it has 2 Amber sprites equipped to it, it cannot be banished. It has 800 and 3 EA.
mhm.
I think this card is garbage.
Yeah, because it basically got to play off just the Amber sprites. Not even it can't even do the tough Amber Strides, which would have been better for him, but he only has the 3 cost. I mean, you can do both technically, but you can only do one tough and one regular Amber Sprite. But
How
just as
much?
is,
How much are the tough amber sprites? Aren't they?
600
Yeah, but aren't
for the
they?
2 costs.
Oh, they're two.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Uh, I would put it right where it is. D.
Yeah, because you have to play off your sprites to basically work off how the character is
Yeah.
being played.
Okay. Next one is Amberlin Knight. This card gains plus 200 for every Amber ally in your discard pile. She has 2 EA and 700 plus. I think she is a phenomenal
Hmm.
card and deserves right there.
Okay. Yeah, because as you can see with all these amber cards, like you would have to like it will work with the rhino because they're amber. You can just keep on negating, and then it
Yeah.
it just keeps on stacking.
Yep. Yep. Next one is Tiny Knight. Tiny Knight is this card can also be treated as an equip card to any knight ally. You can discard this card to retrieve any one sprite from your portal. So basically, this is just discard and grab out a sprite. It has 205 EA and 1 EC cost, and you can have up to 3. This is a great, great sprite searcher.
Hmm.
Um,
And not only that, it's the perfect card to counter protected spirit.
yeah, literally, it is. I would put this at
And it
honest,
has like 5 equipment space too. Like it's
hon-
crazy.
honestly, I would put this probably around here. Yeah, I'll put that there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, next one we
Is
have
the Amber Sprite,
we got regular Amber Sprite.
which as for the rest of them, they're just C tier.
Yep, see it here. Next one,
And then
tough.
at least the next one is the tough Amber Sprite, which I personally think is definitely better.
Yeah, tough Amber Sprite is definitely better.
With the
I
600 attack instead.
yeah, I think he's at a B tier.
Mm-hmm.
Next one,
Next one
Amber
is
Dragon.
the
Amber
okay.
Dragon is a meme winning condition. Super hard to pull off. Even if there's a portal that is literally trying to pull it off nonstop, it is still stupidly hard. Nobody should play this card.
No, because you can only place one at a time per turn, which it's not possible with no EA, especially.
Yeah,
You have, and it's only at 1,000. Um, 1,000 base attack. Basically, the effect is you can place one Amber Dragon on your field per turn. If you control 3 Amber Dragons on your field, you win the game automatically.
yeah, it's Exodia.
Hmm.
Um, but I wouldn't play it. Next one is Banishing Blade. This card's amazing. If this card is in your discard pile, banish it. If you do, banish one card on the field. This is a great removal. It only costs 1 and it gives plus 200. This is SS tier for me.
Yeah, it's just that effect that you can just banish any card on the field.
Yeah, basically. Next one is
The
Amber
Amber Samurai.
Samurai Armor, which by the way, sick art.
Hmm.
Plus 200, plus 100 Amber. So only to the Amber cards because that's plus 100, and nobody would ever play this. There's so many
Surprisingly, yeah, I haven't seen anyone use that.
only TD, and it was because it has Amber, it has Samurai in its name.
Hmm.
That's it. That's the only reason. If you're not playing a Samurai Portal, you wouldn't play that.
Right.
Next one is the Great Kaiju thing.
No, no, no. It's the giant claymore,
Oh, giant.
which I don't know
Where is
who
it?
would play it. It's basically plus 600, but a two cost equipment.
I would never play that card. Why? When there is Relic Sword.
Hmm.
Literally.
For one cost for 600
Yeah. There's no point. And then the last one.
is the King Kaiju sword, which is definitely SS. That card should always be in any portal, just so you can have someone that has zero equipment space, and then they get one,
Yep.
literally right off the bat.
Yep. It's a good card. Um, it's really powerful to give guys that have two EAs a third EA, and then they can pull off like banishing gaze and stuff like that.
Mm.
It's pretty strong. Um, the last there's some other cards that we need to add.
It's
Substitute.
the last two.
Yeah.
Yep.
Substitute. It's the most broken card in the freaking game. Um,
Before the change.
yeah. So it's gone through three revisions now. The last revision that I went through, it is now basically you can bounce um a card from your own field, essentially.
Hmm.
It can be an ally or an equip, but it has to be from your own field. The previous revision was it could be from any field. So that's
Yeah,
where,
when this card is played, you can return any card back to your inventory for zero cost, and it's a quick action.
yeah. So very broken. Um, no longer the case. Next one is
The extra draw.
extra draw right here.
So basically, while this card is on the field at the start of your turn, you can draw and you can draw until you have six cards in your inventory instead of five. Uh, if this card were to be destroyed, you can discard it or shuffle it back into your portal. Costs zero, and it gives plus 100 to light. I personally don't use it. I know I've seen a lot of people use it just to get the extra one card. Like it can come in handy at times, but personally, that's all it can do.
I think it's top of C tier.
Okay.
I've seen many people get the benefit out of this card.
Right.
Um, and I think that's it, man. I think that's all of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks. So.
thank you everybody, and catch you on the next one.